What is up, you guys? It is Bebe. Welcome back to my channel. Super excited for this video today. We are gonna sit down and talk all things electric zoo. Got my ezoo shirt on. I forget what year this was from, but always so happy to talk about this festival with you guys. In case you're new to my channel, I have worked actually on the electric zoo team the past couple years. I will be there again this year. It'll be my third year on staff. I'm so excited. I run their social media on site, so I'm in charge of posting everything all weekend long and working with the media team. So super exciting that I will be back. I already have a first timer guide up on ezoo, which I will link somewhere around here. So that has all the basic information that you should know before coming. But I wanted to switch it up this year, do something a little different, and I went to my Instagram story and asked you guys if you had any questions about this festival whatsoever, and could be from any category, and I was gonna sit down and answer them. So that's what we're gonna do today. I got a bunch of questions for you guys. I tried to narrow them down to like the most common ones. Also a couple little niche ones here and there, but hopefully this helps you prepare a bit as we are coming up really fast on ezoo. It is probably in like 5 weeks by now, which is crazy. So I'm super excited and I just can't wait to be back. So if you see me running around, please feel free to say hi, even though I'm working. Like, I love meeting you guys. It's always great. So yeah, I will be there and I really look forward to it. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I make tons of content on dance music and festivals and preparing for them. So would love it if you stuck around. And without further ado, let's just get into your questions. The first question I got more than once is, what is the vibe for outfits? So this is a really good question because Electric Zoo is an EDM festival by nature. So you will see a lot of people super dressed up, like wearing all kinds of candy and perlers. But I will say there's also a large crowd that attends Electric Zoo that's more so just into like house and techno. So you'll kind of get a mix outfit wise. Definitely dress for the weather. It can still be very, very hot around Labor Day weekend in New York. So dress for hot days and nights that might get a little chilly. I had someone else ask as well, does it get cold at night? And it really just depends. Like, the Northeast weather can be hit or miss, so definitely check the forecast leading up to the event. And I would highly recommend packing like a pashmina or some kind of layer to wear later at night, because it definitely does get chilly. Personally, me working, like, I bring a hoodie and wear a hoodie at night, but when you're in the crowd, obviously it's more warm. So just definitely check on the temperature and what it looks like it's gonna be and just plan accordingly. But you can go all out with the rave fits. Like, I always see people in full-blown rave wear. Don't be shy with that. People definitely wear it. But you'll also see a lot of people in casual clothing. It really is just both ends of the spectrum. Number 2, I got a lot of questions about transportation. So I got like, what is the best form of transportation to get to and from? Should I Uber or should I walk the bridge? Is the ferry reliable? In terms of Uber versus walking the bridge, I would go, me personally, I would Uber on to Randall's Island just because it's easier. You can do it earlier in the day. So basically, when it comes to rideshare apps, you can take a rideshare app like an Uber or a Lyft onto Randall's Island in the beginning of the day. But at the end of the night, when the festival's ending, there are no ride shares allowed on Randall's Island whatsoever. It actually becomes like a blackout zone in the app, so you can't even try. So I would recommend taking a rideshare on to get there. It's really easy. It saves you the long walk on the bridge. But also, if you're new to New York and you want to have like cool views of the city, do the walk on any of the bridges to get there. But it is a bit of a long walk, so definitely be prepared for that. And if it's hot out, it's not the most enjoyable. But in terms of the ferry is absolutely reliable. So it picks you up, I think it's at 34th Street in Manhattan, and takes you straight to Randall's Island. It's super convenient. I honestly think that's the way that a lot of people take. I know so many people who have taken the ferry in the past, and they say that it's the best way to get to and from, because leaving the festival at the end of the night, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is kind of a nightmare just because of Randall's Island's location. So like I said, there's no rideshare apps. The ferry is very easy, but the line does get long to get on it at the end of the night, I've seen. So you're either stuck between the ferry, or like if you have the Brooklyn shuttle, there's an option for that as well. You can check out more about that on the website. You can also, if you need to get them to the Manhattan side, there is a bus. I don't know if it'll be running this year. It usually does every year. So there's that, but most people, I would say, just walk the bridge back to whatever borough they're going to and either take the subway or an Uber from there. So it really depends, and it depends what time you leave. Like if you're staying till the festival ends, getting home kind of is crazy and chaotic, and that bridge walk is no joke, so definitely prepare for that. In terms of the best transportation though, I think it depends where you're staying. Obviously, if you're staying in Manhattan, especially like more midtown area, the ferry is absolutely the best form of transportation. But if you're staying like in Brooklyn, I would definitely check out the shuttle, or, you know, taking an Uber up to as close as you can get to Randall's Island and then walking from there. Next question I received is, what is the bathroom situation like? It's porta potties. You're getting down and dirty with it. Obviously, if you have an elevated wristband, like a different credential, then you have different access. Like VIP bathrooms are air conditioned and they flush. You don't have to deal with the porta potties, but it's definitely rough, and that's just like every festival you go to. I feel like the GA porta potties, I feel like you could go to hell and back there. A lot of you guys asked if you could purchase tickets through me this year, and the answer to that is actually no. I am not an ambassador this year. It used to be through Pollen, but Pollen does not exist as a company anymore, so I am not selling tickets to Electric Zoo. I've been getting lots of messages asking. I'm so sorry that I can't help you guys this year, but yeah, no tickets through me. Another common question I got is just the cost of the festival, because obviously it's in New York. New York is a very expensive city. How does that differ to other festivals? I will say it is gonna cost you more than the average festival, not just from things inside the venue, such as food and drink, but where you stay, like hotel costs, Airbnb costs. It's very expensive here. The subway is the best way to get anywhere. I feel like it's $2.75 and you can take it however far you need to go. So if that's an option for you in the beginning of the day to get there, or the end of the night to get home once you're off Randall's Island, I highly recommend that to cut costs. But yeah, the food and drink is very expensive, especially the alcohol, like specifically, it is very, very pricey. So definitely budget for that. But in terms of like where you stay, and this was another question I got a lot, is where should I stay? A lot of people asked, where should I stay if I'm on a budget? So in terms of being as close to the festival as possible, I honestly think that like Astoria in Queens is a great choice because you're right near a bridge. Upper Manhattan, like maybe towards like more Upper East Side, going towards Harlem is also good because you have the 125th Street Bridge. Just be careful because it can get a little sketchy around there, so don't stay like too far up to 125th, but somewhere in like Upper East Side, or at least the east side of Manhattan. Again, if you're taking the ferry, opt for Midtown, somewhere on the east side. If you're staying on a budget, I would avoid Manhattan completely and just stick to Queens and maybe Brooklyn, but a lot of Brooklyn hotels honestly nowadays are getting very expensive as well. I feel like if you were really on a budget, my best advice would be to stick to Queens, not just because the hotels are a little cheaper, but also because you're closer to Randall's Island, so you cut costs of getting to and from every single day. Another big question I got is that everyone's saying they heard the security is crazy. What is the security like? All that good stuff. So security at Electric Zoo is definitely stricter than the average festival. I know people talk about it like in Reddit and all over the place a lot, and I will 100% say that it is true. We're in New York, it's a major metropolitan city. We take safety very seriously, so yes, the security can be very intense. There are random searches, there are dogs, like canine units for firearms and explosives. Just know that it might take you a little bit of extra time to get through into the venue in the beginning of the day, but it's because the security is so tight, and just be prepared for that. Also, sometimes I think it really just depends on the security guard you get, because I have attended ezoo before I started working on staff, obviously because I'm from here, and I have gone to ezoo and the security guard has literally looked at like all of the random like lollipops and candy that I had in my bag and just been like, whatever, and let me go. I think they have gotten more strict over the years just because we've had some more incidents at live events all around the country, and it's very scary and worrying, so that's why they're there. So definitely know that security is a little tight. There's also like the most undercover cops you will ever see at any festival. It's at Electric Zoo. Let me tell you, they will arrest people in the crowd. They will get you on the spot. They don't play around. Yeah, safety is like our #1 priority, so that's definitely something to be aware of. They'll give you like, please read the guidelines before you even go to the festival, because they will have you throw out like chapstick, makeup, gum, any of that stuff. Like, they will probably make you throw it out, so just be prepared. Like, don't bring any expensive makeup products. If you have like a fresh pack of gum, make sure it's sealed, because they will toss that shit and then you'll be wasting all your money, and nobody wants that. So just read the guidelines before you go. Also, a really important tip I would say is to make sure your totem adheres to the guidelines, because they have pretty strict rules about totems and what materials are allowed and all of that. So definitely check the website, check the prohibited items list, because they do not mess around. Next question I got a lot is, what's the vibe of the crowd? Can I bring candy? Is there plur? Etc, etc. So I feel like ezoo gets a really bad rep for having a hit or miss crowd, oftentimes a miss crowd, and what I mean by that is people say there's not a lot of plur, and it's just kind of more like people super fucked up, not really there for the music. And I definitely will say that there is a level of that in the GA crowd. I experienced it when I went as an attendee. And I think that's also just the New York crowd in general sometimes though. And I think I talked about this in a previous video, is that people will fly in for Electric Zoo who maybe have never raved in New York before. Our scene is very different than other rave scenes. Like, I know people who have gone and raved in SoCal and been like, oh my god, people are actually like nice and want to talk to each other. I'm confused. New York is not like that, let me tell you guys. And to a certain extent it's beyond that, and people are actually just fucking assholes in the crowd, but it's not as plur as you might expect it to be. Like, don't expect no like EDC Vegas type crazy plur, everyone's so nice to each other. That's just not what New York is like in general. So our festival unfortunately reflects that. But you may have some, you know, negative run-ins in the crowd. I think that's just the way life is here. You'll have negative run-ins on the street, on the subway, on the bus, wherever you go. That's New York, baby. I will say though, it is very unfortunate. I found myself in the crowds of ezoo before where I'm just like, ugh, this is not the vibe. Like, people are not nice, and people, yeah, will be super fucked up. But I think it really depends on where you stand in the crowd, and if you're like really in deep or on the outskirts where people are constantly like pushing to get out. So definitely like put yourself in a good place in the crowd. And it also, of course, always, as I said in my EDC recap, it really depends on the artist that you see. So if you're gonna go see like, I don't know, Fisher at main stage, the crowd's probably gonna be a little rough. You're probably gonna get a lot of like young college kids who are just fucked up out of their minds, and it's like 5 p.m. Like, it's gonna be a little rough, okay? But if you're going to the more like obscure techno artists, or I don't know, like Dimension for example at ezoo last year, the crowd was vibing. Like, it was a good time. People are more chill. So it really depends on who you see. But I will say, like, if you've never raved in New York before and this is your first time coming, like, please don't get your hopes up for some insanely like beautiful plur experiences, because yeah, that's just like not the way we operate here. I'm curious to see how it is this year though, just because like in terms of the Brooklyn Mirage, the crowd has absolutely gone to shit. Like, it is full of people who actually don't care about the music whatsoever, and they just want to get fucked up and take pictures of themselves. I personally have not been going to shows at Mirage anymore. I don't know if you guys have noticed, like, I just don't post there anymore unless I'm there for work. Like, I was there working Elro last week. But other than that, I'm really not going anymore. It's not my vibe. I don't like the crowd. So I'm interested to see how Electric Zoo goes this year in terms of crowd. Last question I got a few times is, when will we know about after parties? So if you've never been to ezoo, we have a ton of after parties, like every single night at a bunch of venues. There's a million, so many to choose from. So in terms of when you will actually probably know around the time that I'm posting this video, if not a few days after. So definitely keep an eye out, and remember that ezoo ticket buyers get first dibs on after party tickets. So if those after parties sell out from just ezoo people buying them, then they will not be on sale to the public. So if you have your ezoo pass, definitely jump on after parties quick, because they do tend to sell out very quickly, because we get some really cool artists. So be on the lookout, it's coming soon. Those are the main questions that I got from you guys. If you have any more, please feel free to leave them down below and I will answer as best as I can. I'm so excited to be at ezoo again this year. I have so much fun working this event, and it's just a good time, and I love that it's my home city, and I'm really excited to see what you guys think of it this year. Obviously the lineup is crazy. I thought last year's was the best we had, but honestly I think this year might be a little more competition to last year. But yeah, I'm so excited, and thank you guys for submitting questions, and thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.